Double exposures on film is one of my favorite forms of photography. Taking two photos on one frame to make something that you might not have been able to accomplish with one single exposure in camera on one frame of film is just so special. The way I like to shoot double exposures requires a lot of thought, a lot of symmetry, a lot of precision. So today I'm gonna show you how I shoot double exposures on film, and I'm gonna guide you through the process of making one of my favorite double exposures I've ever made to this day. But first, what is a double exposure? I'm sure most of you know, but it is simply exposing the same frame of film twice. Before you shoot a frame of film, it's empty, a void, it's nothing. And then you take a photo and the actual particles of light are ingrained on the film. It's kind of a crazy concept. Now, imagine you just shoot that exact same frame again. There's plenty of ways people like to do this. Some people like to shoot an entire roll, rewind it, load it back into their camera, and shoot over it again. I personally have never done this method, but just imagine shooting a bunch of dark studio portraits and then double exposing them with beautiful sunsets. Like, it could be so cool. The possibilities are limitless. Now, how do you get your film camera to let you expose the same frame twice? A lot of film cameras require you to advance the film so you can take the next photo. On manual 35mm cameras, you can actually press the rewind button while advancing the film lever to trick your camera into not advancing the film forward, allowing you to shoot that frame again. Some newer 35mm cameras have built-in multiple exposure modes that let you just decide how many times you want to expose one frame of film. And some medium format cameras like the Mamiya RB67 that I'll be using today, you just flip a switch on the film back that just tells the camera that it doesn't need you to advance the film to shoot the next frame. Now, when it comes to metering, this is where it can be a little tricky. There are some techniques online on how to do double exposures, which requires a little bit of math where you meter for your scene and you underexpose your film by half. So pretty much, the two halves make one whole exposure together. I personally don't follow that method because I am shooting in the studio where there's a ton of negative space, not broad daylight, where I have complete control of the lighting. So I don't really have to think about that math all too much. When you're in a studio with so much negative space, it's easy to just expose things for exactly what they're metered for because you're just filling in negative space that hadn't been shot already. Now, how I've gotten a lot of practice and gotten a lot better at double exposures is by first shooting them on instant film with this instant back that I have for my Mamiya RB67 called the Frankenstacks back. It lets you shoot Instax square film, which is conveniently like $1 a shot, which allows you to take advantage of the super sharp glass and manual shutter speeds of the medium format system that the Mamiya is. Firstly, it's just so fun to shoot double exposures on instant film, and it's just fun to shoot instant film in the studio as is, but it's a perfect way to pre-visualize and kind of figure out exactly how you want to shoot a double exposure before you load color negative film into your 120 back and shoot it. It's a perfect way to do a couple tests, see exactly how you did, and then take the photo on medium format film. Also, Instax film is 800 speed, so I get to actually just copy the exact settings that I shot the Instax film with for my 120 film as long as I'm shooting 800 speed, which is just super convenient. I asked Sam at Frankenstacks to help me make a double exposure mask that goes under the waist level finder to help me with pre-visualizing double exposures. This mask sits in my camera regardless of if I'm shooting 120 film or Instax film. It's an X or a plus sign that just sits right on top of the ground glass to help you with framing. Just these two simple lines, it makes it so easy to remember what your framing was like. These lines are perfectly symmetrical. They go right through the center of your frame. So you can just be like, my subject is gonna take up the 2 blocks on the left, and then the second exposure, they're gonna take up the 2 blocks on the right or something like that. Super helpful because previously before it, I would just misframe everything and things would be overlapping when I didn't want them to. I love this mask. Also, stick around to the end. I'm gonna give a couple of these masks away to my RZ67 users, but they're also for sale on the Frankenstacks website. Hopefully all this information has been helpful, but I think the most helpful thing would be actually seeing me shoot some. So let's get into the studio and make some double exposures. Today I'm here with my friend Emily, who is standing in as a model. Pretty much just gonna be taking a photo of your silhouette right now. We won't be able to see your face or anything. Okay, maybe put your hair behind your ears. Nice. Look up this way with your whole face. Your head is just in the top left. This is so cool, actually. This really works well. Let's do 5/6 at 100. So like I'm exposing for the background so that like your actual shadow is like really a shadow, All right, 3, 2, 1. And then why don't you just turn towards the projector? Ooh, that's sick. Let's see, maybe we go, let's try that. 5/6, 125, okay, it's perfect. It's the exact same exposure as the background, that's kind of crazy. What if you actually look right at the lens? 3, 2, 1. All right, let's see how this turns out. I mean, I think your framing is cool. Like, it's cool, like this sea of blue, but like, the extra exposure, like they're not one image together, you know? So let's try another, and I will get more creative and I'll think things through better. And I'm sorry for wasting everybody's time. I'm just kidding. This first Instax photo is by far the weakest one, but that makes a lot of sense because this is our warm-up shot, essentially. I've tried to fit Emily's body into a silhouette of Emily's body, and I had this blue background the entire time, which kind of just ended up making the image have these two faded silhouettes on top of each other. It was also exposed improperly, so the highlights of Emily's face are completely blown out. No problem though, that's shot number one. 5, 6, let's do f8 at a 20th of a second. Tilt your head a little bit. Yeah, great. This is all just in the right half of the viewfinder. All right, and here we go. And then right half of the viewfinder, take a step to your left and tilt your head in the direction of the lens. Like that, yeah. Oh, you know what I'll do? So this is the second exposure. That looks cool. That looks really cool, actually. All right, I'm gonna go down to a 15th of a second just because it seems a little darker on your face. I'll stick it at 30th. 3, 2, 1, and don't blink. I'm really feeling good about that one. Shot number 2 is okay. I don't have a ton to say about this photo other than I just don't think it's very visually compelling, but that's why we're still warming up, right? 3, 2, 1. You were looking out that way a little bit. Yeah, that's nice. 3, 2, 1. Now this is where things start to get interesting. I think it's cool having these two images of Emily in the same frame in this way. I love the red light on her face, but we can definitely go deeper. In the left-hand side of the square, you got the pink light on your hair. No, that looked good last time. That's great, just like that. 3, 2, 1. And then on the right side, why don't you face that light more? Look up past the light, maybe. Ooh, this one's gonna be nice. I think it's nice when like you're facing different directions, you know? Like that really like gives the illusion of it being like one image together. Yeah, sorry. I really like that pose. Maybe lean forward a little bit. Yeah, that's really cool. That's excellent, just like that. Ready? 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. This one so far is my favorite one. I really love the perfectly exposed orangish red color of light on Emily's face, and I love that the second exposure is just a silhouette. It by no means tells any story, but it's just cool. It literally would not be a shoot with me if like things weren't breaking and like my feet didn't hurt and I wasn't dropping stuff and I wasn't tripping over stuff every 5 seconds. Like those are like the fundamentals of like a shoot with me. Look out that way. Actually, look down that way. Yeah. Let's see that. There it is. So you're in the right 2 sides of the frame. F8, 25. 3, 2, 1. And then look over at me. Whoa. I'm just gonna move this up past the projector. Right to here. Perfect. Okay. Yeah, just look right at the camera. After shooting a couple frames that I thought were pretty good, I decided it was time to try the concept that I initially wanted to do, the main thing that I wanted to make today, which is simply an image that features Emily's entire body within herself. I'm not 100% sure how I want it to look, but I just know that I want there to be some warm colors and some amount of symmetry in the image. I'm going back. Wow, that's really cool. Okay, so what if you face your feet like forward a little bit? 5, 6 at a 10th of a second. Shout out to the tripod for real. Okay, 3, 2, 1, and we can do that, but we can do it even better, I promise. That's pretty good though, right? Isn't that beautiful?
That is so cool.
This first take at this concept is okay. First of all, that red circular light on the background is not symmetrical at all in the frame, and that bothers me personally. And secondly, I don't love that the white light that Emily is sitting in spills out of her silhouette a little bit. She's also a little overexposed, but these are all things we can adjust and fix with our next image.
Okay, so you're directly in the center of the top 2 squares right now. 3, 2, 1.
This is where it's gonna get sick. Okay, so since that first image was you looked like you were lost in thought or something, I'm gonna try to put this, that first image, right where your brain is. The bottom of your face will be exposed properly, but the rest of your head will be dark.
It looks like the right size to me.
Not your head, the framing. Just gotta expose this part. Let's do F8 at a 30th of a second. Begging for this to turn out good.
I think we have one though. Can you do another frown for me? 3, 2, 1.
Fingers crossed. Imagine if I didn't have a shot in there after all that. I'm really excited about that one. I think I found exactly where I want to go with this concept with this image, but this one is very imperfect and has a lot of flaws. Firstly, Emily is overexposed in the spotlight, something I need to adjust. Her head is sticking out of the larger head, and you can see the bottom of the cyc wall right through the image, which makes a lot of sense.
3, 2, 1.
Now you can sit back down on the ground. Thank you. I can see the bottom of the floor again. I'm trying to think. Yeah. That's great. And do you mind just rotating your feet until they fit in the light? I think this is gonna work.
That's like the exact space I need too. Bro, we're about to cook.
All right, F8 at 10. Let's do F11 at a 5th. No, let's do F8. Look off that way a little bit. Yeah, and chin down. It's great, just like that.
Yeah, here goes nothing.
Cool. This is literally so close to being so fire. I think I'm gonna try making this circle that she's sitting in with the projector though. Now we're getting closer and closer to what I think is a perfect studio image, but we're not quite there. The white light that she's sitting in is just not the right shape. So I decided instead of using the spotlight, I would make a perfect oval in Photoshop and project it on the wall for her to sit in.
Okay, I am doing everything I can to make sure I get this right. 3, 2, 1.
And I'm gonna shoot the Instax one really quick. It's probably a really bad way to do this because I'm gonna forget. No, I took an iPhone photo, we're good. Okay, we'll put the Instax back on. It's the same exposure as before.
3, 2, 1.
You can stand. Not orange, but there we go, cool. Okay, so now we're doing that first image.
This is what I'm talking about.
Because I took a photo through the viewfinder just to make sure I had the framing right. That looks good. Let me just bring it in a little bit more.
2, 1.
Perfect. And just stay right there for me. Oh, I'm getting really stoked. Yeah.
3, 2, 1.
Okay. Yo, it's pretty good. What do you think?
Yo.
Yo.
It's like a volcano.
It kind of does look like a volcano. I ended up trying out one more shot like that where I just got a little bit closer to Emily.
3, 2, 1.
I think that's it. If not, we've got some other ones that are pretty decent, right? This Instax photo came out beautiful. I think this is one of my favorite double exposures I've ever taken in my entire career. And the medium format film version of this photo is perfect, in my opinion. This is why Instax is such a perfect way to figure out and pre-visualize exactly what you want to shoot, whether it's just a single exposure or a double exposure. This medium format image is sharp, it's perfectly exposed, it's incredibly symmetrical. I love the colors. I love the fall off and glow from the white light carrying into her cheekbones. I love the warmth of the rest of the image, and it really just feels like an image telling the story of somebody overthinking or somebody who's in their head, and this is beautiful. This is more than I could have ever hoped for. And that right there is how I shoot double exposures on film. I hope this video as a whole made sense. I hope you enjoyed, and I really hope you give double exposures a go, whether it's something like this in the studio or it's something completely different. As I said earlier, I'm giving a couple of these double exposure masks away. All you have to do is drop a comment saying that you use the RB or RZ67 and you'd like to try double exposures with the mask, and I'll choose 3 or 4 of you guys to send a couple masks to. If you just want to pick one up and support a small business, you can get them on Frankenstack's site. I'll leave a link down in the description below. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Linus, and I will talk to you guys later.